We're in May now, and it's time for my monthly update on my wonderful poinsettia, or poinsettias, I should say. I've got my little cuttings here as well, and I can show you how they're doing. It's been really good weather here in the UK, nice and warm until today, where we're having lots of rain. And so I thought today would actually be a really good day to bite the bullet and give my wonderful plant its very first proper haircut. I'm not going to hold back. I'm just going to go for it. In the past, I mean, it's 4 years old now, and in the past I just let it grow as it was, and the only pruning I did was when little bits snapped off, because as I've said previously, the branches as they age they get really brittle and so they're easy to snap if you move it around and stuff. But I just feel it could do with a really proper haircut. If you look at the flowers, it's still so much in bloom, and it will stay this way easily for another month or two until like July. But I'm thinking if I cut everything off, the flowers are really quite small, and if you give it a haircut, it sort of starts, you shorten the branches, and what it's supposed to do is make the individual flowers larger. It's like the ones you buy in shops. They have these enormous flowers, whereas this one, I mean, it's got loads of them. It's completely covered in red, but they're all smaller than the ones you get in the shop, if that makes any sense. It's a different kind of tree. I mean, I love the look of it, but I just think it could really do with a bit of shaping up and a bit of a haircut. So the idea is to cut off all the flowers and most of the green, and it's going to be really hard for me to do it, but I'm going to do it, and hopefully it will turn out well, and it'll be an interesting experiment. I mean, actually it would also be good to get it shapened a little bit, because as you can see also there's bits like drooping with the weight over here, so drooping downwards, and then these ones are starting to lean upwards, and I don't know, I just think it could just do with a bit of a prune. That would help it. And some of the leaves are drying out too, and yeah, I think I'll just go for it now. And I've actually covered the floor with a bit of newspaper, because it's got this sap. It's a member of the Euphorbia family, and so it has this really white milky sap, which can be an irritant, and so it's also a good idea if you're working with these plants to wear gloves. So I'm going to do that as well. Put a pair of rubber gloves on. And I've also seen people say that it's important to be sure not to get any sap into your eyes, because that can really irritate your eyes. And I'll show you actually how the sap looks. So if we go down here, for example, we start here. So to cut the whole, you can see I've got this nice pair of secateurs with gloves on. And so we just go down here and just chop right down at the base of the flower. And I'll show you what happens is, you can see this here. It's that milky sap. See? So go down here. Just not focusing on it. So put it down. Anyhow. But yeah, there'll be other ones to show as well. It's just going to be quite a job to get everything chopped off. I'm not sure I want to make you see everything. It might be a bit boring. But I'm going to try to find some good areas. It's like all about shaping it, isn't it? Shaping it and sort of making it be the way you want it to end up. It's quite exciting. It's like an art form, they say pruning is. I find it a bit daunting, because you don't want to make a mistake. I mean, you can't really regrow stuff if it goes wrong, can you? So maybe I'll just do like little cuts. Look at that. I mean, they're beautiful flowers still. They're still stunning, but it'd be good to get, look at that. See that? There you can see the sap. Like that. That should help. Is that it? Focus. It just won't focus, but it's white. Seriously. Come on, focus. Yeah, it's really white and milky. Okay, so let's have a look. So that one goes, you see that the branches are all twisted and turned, and it's quite amazing really how this sort of tree-like thing has grown. And so it definitely is time for a good little cut. I'm psyching myself up and feeling better about doing this, even though it's quite harsh on the poor tree. All right, Let's have a look. I think I might actually just go about and chop most of it off, and then I'll get back to you and let you see how it goes. Okay, we're back. We're halfway through the job, and I wanted to show you how it's going. I've snipped off all the flowers with the secateurs, and then I've actually just pulled off all the leaves, because everywhere where the leaf is, there's going to be a little node where new leaves can come through, or new branches even. And so I just want to strip everything off and give it a fresh start. And as you can see, some places where I've cut to, like here, there's already some new little tiny leaves. So I've left those on, but it's just everywhere, just to give it a little bit of, I mean, I think it helps to have a little bit of photosynthesis through the little tiny, tiny baby leaves, but there aren't many of them I've left. Down here we can see the carnage. I mean, look at this, just mounds of stuff. I'm going to take some of these larger ones here and actually use them as cuttings too. But I'm sure this is for the best. I'm sure we're going to have a really great show this Christmas. See, some little leaves I've left there, here and there, all around. But I'll carry on and get the other half done, and then I will show you how it looks. It's not going to be pretty, but hopefully it will be worth it in the end. And we are done. I managed to chop off all the flowers and most of the foliage. I've left a little bit more foliage on the other side, this side here, as you can tell. But I'll show you what's been taken off. The carnage, all of this foliage, all of these flowers. It's really a lot. And that was really hard to do, but I'm hoping it's the right thing. I just hope it helps it. I've snipped off anything that looked a bit weak or anything that sort of looked like it wasn't doing too well. Some brittle bits and things like that. And I just think it looks like a good shape now. It's still quite branchy, it's still quite twiny and everything, but it's going to be exciting to see how it recovers and everything. I'll give it a bit of a feed, maybe tomorrow. Something with some nitrogen in it, maybe some banana peel water, something like that, just to give it a bit of a boost as well. And it's a good thing, I think, that it's a rainy day, because if the sun was beating down on it right now, that could maybe harm it a bit. But this is going to just let it recuperate a bit today, and then it'll be exciting to see what happens. This was really harsh, and I really hope it was worth it. I'll be back again next month with my June update, and hopefully we'll have lots of wonderful green growth by then, and it'll be recovering nicely. Fingers crossed, it's all going to be going well. And I'm also going to just quickly show you, as I mentioned, I'm also going to be stripping down my little cutting from last year. I think he also needs that. And the cutting I took last month is starting to have little green growth there, really small. It does take a little while to get going. I actually think I'm going to add some of these bits I've cut off to that cutting, just to sort of give it a bit more bulk. So I could put a few more in these and actually make them grow as well. Just strip them down and pop them in the pot alongside this guy. Make a bigger plant that way. So that's what we'll do. We'll use some of these cuttings. But yes, hopefully I'll see you next month, and we'll see how things are going by then. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. We're going to do lots of fun things. Come August, that's when it's going to get nice again. We'll hopefully have a really green plant by then, and then I'll be able to start turning him red for Christmas. And if you have a little beautiful plant in your house, you can join me for that. It's loads of fun. So I'll hopefully see you next month. Bye for now.